Another Friday night last night. Bitter taste, but still some good positives coming out of it. How you feel about the game?
It's the things you worry about. Season high offense, 426 yards, 425 yards offense. Thomas had a great game, 205 yards, rushing on 33 carries, which he really read the ball with some authority last night. Comes down to some simple things. Turnovers kill you. Pick six, there to have. Brooke played myself with that one. Another down close to a fade. Guy made a really incredible play. Credits that cornerback at a roam and then a fumble. It was frustrating. We outgained them by over 100 yards of offense and struggle a little bit. We have to, at some point in time, get on the hump. It's like I saw one of the parents last night. I said, Coach, you're on the edge. Of course, obviously me, myself, you, coach staff, kids are tired of hearing that. Improvements there. Obviously, we were, really improving the program. Kids really, lots of kids did great. The offensive line played great. Those five guys up front really blocked really well. Blake, Keelan, Mikhail, and Trevor. They did some really, really good things up front blocking. Justin Ayler had a really solid game blocking, running the ball. Horn did a good job running. We've done some really good things. Defense, they played great. Those two halfbacks broke off some runs, which we were aware that that could possibly happen. You don't get to be first team All-State. When to be a junior in return and not be able to do that. So, the third quarter they had one snap, or two snaps, and they had two snaps and they scored 2 touchdowns. We had the ball for, I think, Coach Black's talking about, like 37 consecutive plays in the third quarter. Because, got the onside kick, that Kuwan did a great job with that. It is frustrating for me and the kids and everybody just to go out and do lots of great things, good enough to win, but still find a way to lose. It's like I spoke to before, it's the catch-22 of, program turnarounds and coaching is you got to win a big one. You got to win this close. To be a great program, you got to win a close game. But to win a close game, you have to have won a close game. So when are you going to do that? It's that one thing you sort of have to do. You have to break tradition or break your stretch and do something. Have an anomaly to get back to make the other the routine. And that's I guess if it was easy, that would all be making $10 million and living in Tuscaloosa.
The people watching don't get to see on Friday night anything except this is the result of the play. They don't see what went into that play, but give them an idea of after a Friday night when we're done how bad it is until the next morning.
That's why watching games, it changes your appreciation of watching a college game or a pro game. I very rarely ever say, why did crap they call that? Because you go through, like last night we threw a pick six, and I blame myself for it. It's ate me up since last night. It's ate me up since the moment it happened. We work on something all week, all year really. We worked on that route all year. We haven't thrown it. We've always read the front side, but in the 5 previous games or 6 previous, and nobody's covered that route. There's nobody been over there, nobody standing there, nobody around it. So think, so here's a good time. Horn's thrown that ball great all week. Faking the option front side, hopping off, and if we read the front side, if we had the same route, not check down, back across the field, one-on-one coverage, plays there, and then and the ball just gets thrown a little bit inside. I should never ask him to throw the ball from, which changes the quarters. I should realize, hey, we're throwing the ball across the field. We should have thrown it back in the boundary. We didn't do that, and it really just it eats you up as a coach because you can sit there and second guess because you watch the play live. Well, we watched that same play 47 times over last. I watched that same play 12 times from last night, and it's probably been a little bit worse each time. It really kills you as a coach because you look at as a coach. In my opinion, is you blame yourself for putting the kid to make a bad decision. Say, why did I ask him to do something that he was struggling to do? And that's one of the keys of coaching is putting kids, give them opportunity to be successful. Don't ask them to do something they can't do or they struggle with. So, I really blame myself, and that's all that's the play I remembered. I don't remember anything else of that game besides that thing, because I looking at Coach Melton, our receiver coach, said, I don't feel good about what we just called here. And he's like, Coach, we practice all week. It's going to be okay. And that's what happened. It really, it's painful as a coach because, not only you're emotionally invested in your team, you're emotionally invested in your kids, you're emotionally, emotionally invested in the program. And it's painful. It's because we spend as much time with those boys as we do our family. So it's like having your kid mess up. You see something get that. Like if you're the parent of the quarterback, he throws an interception, and they go through all the things that goes along in the stands, film watching your son, be dejected. We feel that with every play with a kid because all those kids, you get to be really pretty close to them. So
we got to call it.
Yes, and we're the ones it's like send your kid out to do something and something goes wrong and he gets injured. Hey, why did I send my son out to cut the grass and you see your kid get hurt. That's like watching your baby start to walk and watching them fall down. How bad that is, and you feel I got a 17-month-old at home and bends everywhere and he falls down and I'm thinking. I should have been over there watching him to keep from, falling over, hitting his head, or doing this. And you're over there and you feel terrible as a parent. And it's the same feeling as a coach. You feel terrible, except you have it on film and you watch it repeatedly over and over and over again. It's bad. It's bad. And you can't. It's like it's a car wreck. You can't. Let's watch that one more time. Our coaches. We. I don't know if you realize this. We've been at work for an hour already, and all the other coaches are doing it right now at the field house.
Hopefully they'll be done when we get back. One of the things that I noticed last night that is becoming a staple, I think, with other teams is we finally got players that they're accounting for. They're having to account for, like Brandon Ballard in the middle. I think that caused some fumbles from center to quarterback exchange that are typically that's going our way.
Brandon Ballard's a guy that we haven't talked about a lot, but having a great junior season. A guy I've had recruiters come by and they've really want to see the nose guard, number 99. Other coaching staffs, who is that guy? We blitz a lot, do some things up front, but it all starts with Brandon because he's on a double team. You better double team or he's going to make the play himself. And then when you double team him, it's easier to stunt people, move people around, and he's a great football player. Looking a couple years ago, you saw him, and he's where Thomas is sort of what we start around on offense. He's what we on defense. He is the focal point.
Right. He
starts it all right there and does some great. He's a very very good football player, and I think he'll show up with some recruiting lists next year. He's worked himself. Brandon's one of the kids I'm really proud of in the program. Really has matured. Has school has. He hasn't been in trouble in school at all. He's becoming a much better person. And correlation with that, when that happens, you become a much better football player. And he's definitely that leader of the defense. He's done can't say enough good things about Brandon Ballard right now.
And he's helping other kids. Like you got, he's going to help some linebackers later, but he's helping people like Caleb Sailors fly free to the ball. Our middle linebackers are able to move freely, go unblocked.
Exactly. It's just like you watch the Patriots when Vince Wilfork went down last week with the Achilles Falcons. They won't be as good on defense all year. That guy's an absolute monster.
Right.
And Brandon's sort of our version of Vince Wilfork in the middle. He's really athletic. He disrupts things. They have to. Everybody would play. That first. Literally the first thing coaches ask me, he goes, "Who is that guy?" It's really uncanny. And it's an impact. It makes everybody on that defense better. Because one thing you talk about when you're on any football team, and it doesn't matter who it is, you got to be good up the middle. You got to have a good safeties. You got to have it helps have a good nose guard. Helps have a good inside linebacker. Offensively, center, quarterback, your running backs, and that that line right there. Obviously Georgia, if you've got to look at there, they got a good center, amazing quarterback. And tailback you right now. Plug one in and makes them pretty good because now the receivers look better because
right.
You're having to account for these guys in the middle. The same thing goes in high school defense. Any defense has been good. The Bears all those years. With Michael Singletary sitting in the middle and I can remember they called him the Manster. The guy that played defensive tackle for them. playing plays. I mean, all the great defense all them years. Tampa Bay with their two safeties, and then I forgot his name now, the ESPN analyst. Making all disrupting the thing. FSU with two defensive tackles all those years. It helps to be when you're good up the middle, you're gonna be good.
I think also I know you hear that people say, well, the offense didn't score the points, they didn't score the points, but I think what people aren't seeing that we see is every week the offense, which is a stat that you hate to win and not win the ball game, but we're winning time of possession. We doubled their time of possession last night. We're winning not the yardage. We're winning everything off that line of scrimmage. It's just things happen when we get down close to the goal line, it seems, and we shoot ourselves in the foot.
I think we had 84 snaps last night, which is, in high school football, that's a lot. They had 40 snaps. We had 426 yards. They had about 3-4. I mean, we do all those things. We've gotten so much better. It's, stats that matter, those turnovers. Right. That's one thing we've got to eliminate. We have to eliminate that part of the game right now. And it's not like, you run the option, you fumble the ball. No, we do it different ways every week. We find a new way to do it. It's like I said, it's a very painful process to go through. But if you sit down and statistically look at what's things gone on in the last 3 years, 400 yards of offense is a lot. We haven't had that in over years, and we consistently grind the ball up and move the ball, and it's improvement is there. It's just that I want it right now mentality, if myself included, it does hurt you. You want it right now, but if you're doing things the right way, it just doesn't happen.
Right.
People can say, well, Nick Saban changed Alabama here. No, really, he did. Shula cleaned up the mess that was Alabama to let Nick Saban step into a pretty good job. If a coach ever comes in and wins in year one, somebody before him is a good job. Tim Glanton's a great example. Tim Glanton goes through and takes over a horrible East program and gets them to respectability. I think his last year they lost 5 ball games or 6 ball games by a total of about 30 points. Less than 6 points a game. And John Reed comes in and they drop classifications and it looks like a miracle worker.
Right.
But Tim Glanton, same thing with South Paulding. Tim Glanton did a great job at South, and Ed Kocher walked into a good situation. Because you can't reinvent the wheel in a single year. It doesn't happen. So it's a process when to get things in, and our kids are definitely it's a much more improved. Just from aesthetically to field performance is a much better program.
And they are improved on the field. But one of the things I want to talk about is in times past, I don't know that what the kids did and what you had the kids do would have happened to the magnitude that it happened yesterday. But we have a family who was in a need that the kids took hold and really put themselves out there to help out, and thought that was really big.
Yeah, and I say this, and I know a lot of people, this coach speak, I want to create better kids, better humans, better men. That's one thing that football provides for, and sports in general is our society lacks a lot of father figures and, getting kids to do the right things. And I really feel like it's a obligation as a coach to try to do that.
Right.
This month's breast awareness or breast cancer awareness, and wearing pink. It's been the NFL, NBA, all has made it cool to wear pink, and so it filters down. Hey, Ray Lewis is wearing pink. I want to wear pink, and the kids, I think we've lost sight of what it really is. Wearing pink doesn't just draw attention to it. It's not doing any good. So I told the kids this year. I said, look, guys. I said, and this came, and Coach Reynolds, Gene Reynolds, gave me this idea. It wasn't me, because they said we need to take this money up we're spending on buying pink stuff and donate it somewhere. That would help. That would help breast cancer. I said, yeah, and I said, well, you're right. So this year I told the kids, I said, guys, in Pawnee County, we're 64 free and reduced lunch. A lot of our, kids don't have a lot of money at home. But the kids come in and say, guys, I counted the number of kids in the program. I said, gave them a number, $500. So we got to raise $500 we're going to donate to somebody. And I said, I'm not going to help you do it. I said, this is something I want you to do. And once you do that, then y'all can wear pink. You know, the only thing I gave them, we had a box of pink tape that we used.
Right.
Besides that, we didn't buy nothing for that. Well, our kids went out and raised $724 donations and collections. And we have a family in need, and we did a little private thing. One of our mothers is suffering from breast cancer, just gone through chemotherapy, and we brought the family in, and kids, a sophomore wide receiver, had them stand up, and we presented them with some flowers and the money, and because it's a time of need. It made them aware of what a terrible thing that breast cancer is and how it affects people. So I think our kids got something out of that. It wasn't just wearing it. Now they understand I'm wearing pink. And why am I wearing pink, and what does that mean? Because they actually had to go out and do something and find the money. And I'm so proud of the kids for doing that. It made me feel really good to watch them do that, because they took it upon themselves. They went around and raised the money. They did that themselves. It wasn't, I didn't tell them how to do it, because it's different if you have a fundraiser. Y'all show up at 8 o'clock and do this and do this and do this. Well, they took the ownership of it, and they went out and they did it. And it's helped somebody out.
Right.
I think that's big in the step for becoming a good man.
What Rome's gone. We've got one home game left in South, and we had a great crowd last night. But we're 2 weeks on the road with a bye week.
Yes, it's we still have a lot to play for. Playing two county rivals here, North and South. I'm sure a lot of people sort of say, they're look at South and North. They're so good, but I really feel like those are games, winnable games for Paulding County High School. Play a Woodland team that struggled all year, and one of the many steps to becoming a better program. Woodland has struggled scoring points. We need to go out there and continue that trend for them. We need to continue our trend of getting better and scores of points offensively, and have a good game and beat somebody convincing. So what we did to Lithia Springs, that's something we need to continue on. And then got a week off, get a little rest in, and then play North for the Battle of Dallas. The Ken Phillips Trophy. Really would like to bring that home to where it belongs, over at North Paulding, and then play South Paulding for senior night. So effort for our kids is still going to be there. That's something I have no doubt. I think that really is for the program, would it really make it, going to next year, give some momentum, come off with some wins right there. Obviously, they both done a great job. It's going to be a very contrasting styles of thing. We're definitely a run-based offense. Led by Big Thomas sitting in the middle, and they're both spread it around the throw it guys. I'd like to think we're a little more physical because of the downhill run game that we present. Obviously, they do a great job finessing the ball around. Jalen Burks has had an outstanding season.
Right.
With the quarterback for South, and last year the quarterback at North accounted for 3,000 yards of offense. He's definitely a good football player. But I like our chances in those games. I think that's I really think that's something we can go out and accomplish some things as a program and feel better about. And they're your county rivals. You always want to beat your county rival, and I think that's something our kids. Every kid has a school they hate. Some kids don't want to beat East so bad they can't stand it. Some kids, it's sort of like Georgia fans. Some of y'all hate Florida the most. Some people hate Tennessee the most. Some people hate Tech the most. It's y'all have to pick somebody. It's like that's the game that 1 in 10 you win that game. There are a lot of kids are that way. Some of our kids can't stand the East. Some of them is Hiram. Some of them is South. Some is North. So, we'll have good effort because that stuff's contagious.
You said something about that. The kids' effort's going to be there, but what is there anything you've done differently this year or last year that you noticed that in prior years have not been done? Because it seems like this year would be the typical time we'd start seeing kids dropping because we're not winning, and this year it seems like the kids come back every Monday with the expectation we're going to win, and here what do we need to do to get there?
It's one thing though is being consistent, and it goes back to what we've done in the off season. We count workouts. Kids got to achieve some workouts to come out. They got to do so many things to be part of the team. And I tell them it's like being married. Now, I'm divorced, so I can say this. If you invest in something, you invest in your marriage. You're at home doing what you're supposed to do and stuff, and you hit a bad spot. people that aren't really invested in that marriage is gonna give up on it pretty quick, and because they don't have as much to lose. Well, I'll check out. Or jobs. I haven't seen a lot of doctors give up practice,
Right.
you know, because you don't go to school all that time. So our kids are invested in something, you know. That's why we don't have kids quitting. Even the guys that are, they're, you know, second string JV are still out there, because I think it's a two-part thing. One is they're invested in the program. They've taken ownership in it. They want to get better. They see visually what we're doing. So you're not gonna give up something you've invested in.
Right.
You know, it's like having an old car that gives you all sorts of trouble, but you've owned it forever. Where you're gonna go out there, you're gonna fix the brakes, you're gonna change the engine, because that's your car. You know, and it's also how you treat people. You know, I'm not like I told the kids last night. I felt like I lost the game, that they didn't lose the game. I felt like last night was all on Coach Scott Hamilton. So fans, whoever will be mad, if I think you know, be upset with me, because that's how I feel about it. So I treating the kids correctly and treating them, you know, I think that helps keep them around. You know, as a coach, you see a lot of coaches are blaming, you screwed this up, you did this, you do that. Well, you don't want to be around that either.
Right.
You know, so I think that's a two-part thing. I haven't done anything different. We always, you know, I think we've always, as the year went along, that kids have stayed out and done good, because they've started to invest in the program and how we treat the kids as people. You know, so I think first day interview, Coach Black, you know, talked to him about football. He hands me a big, humongous folder, and he's super organized. Said, "Hey, Coach," I said, "I just took the folder, and we're at Waffle House, and threw it offside." I said, "We just need to talk for a while, so let's see if I like you, and because I want to determine whether kids like you, because you want to be around people you like." And we spend so much time together. And I know we give, you know, Coach Shaw a hard time sometimes at the field house, but obviously we wouldn't if we didn't want him around, or he didn't want to be around a likable bunch, that you wouldn't stay.
No.
You know, somebody. That's part of it. You know, you got to be around people you like.
Right.
And if I was some tyrant, you know, obviously, you know, I don't know if y'all know, Coach Shaw volunteers to coach. You know, hopefully the Bush Club gives him a little money at the end, but he's doing it honestly because he loves football. And if it was some miserable environments, you wouldn't be showing up every day. Same thing with the kids. I think that's part of it, saying that I have some magnetic personality. I just really think that's about how you treat people.
I agree. And going into Woodland, anything you want to? I mean, it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be more like Lithia. I think anything.
Yeah, I think it's more about they're struggling. I mean, their stats don't lie. They've scored 3 points all season. Have scored an offensive touchdown. We need to continue that trend. We don't need to let them get excited about anything in this game. The only thing they should be hopefully excited about is, could this game get over?
Right.
You know, we need to go out there and sort of take care of ourselves and put on a show. You know, that's what we need to do. You know, we don't need to call it a dogfight. It doesn't need to be 28-21, and we're happy that we won. It needs to be, we're happy because we won how we're supposed to win.
Right.
That's once again, that's another step in growing as a program.
Well, I think we're ready for for Woodland, and again, congratulations on your award yesterday. I know they came out and videotaped and gave you the Teacher of Excellence Award, or
the Class Act
Award.
Yeah, and I don't know when that's going to air.
Monday, isn't it?
Well, no, they told me they may have changed it. I'm not sure. They said they were pretty happy how the segment went somehow. I don't know how that works. I just know they showed up. I know it was once again, it was watching Levi Bishop on TV. He was quite humorous. And I'm sure that people, Austin Bill dancing on the bench is going to be maybe some good footage.
That's very good footage. Well, good deal. We'll look forward to next week, and let's pull out a victory of Woodland.
That's good. Just the Patriots.